Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
My hot dog does not taste like a piece of
Okay, so
I want to do a solo. Okay, I'm gonna do a shot.
I got it.
Turkey. I'm gonna do a solo next year. Yeah, your next education.
I highly doubt it. That education's out of
I'm gonna study. You're gonna play for it.
Can I have your tips? We're going to start up the second half of the program. Just a reminder that the placemats that are in the center of your table have envelopes on them. If you'd like to leave a donation for your meal and for your show, that's what those are for. At the end of the show, there will also be soup for sale. So see one of our home and school people for that. We also want to thank our home and school people, Carol and Rosanna and Murdy's mom, for the work that they did to get this meal ready.
Amen.
Let's just give them a big round of applause. Is my mic coming through okay back there? Yeah. Can you hear me properly? Okay, good. So, Pastor, I heard you say it. Just a little over a week ago was Valentine's Day, and we had Jamie George concert here, and some of you, I heard say we're going to use that as your Valentine's date cheapo idea. And so it's a little disappointing. Maybe your wife wasn't that thrilled with just that for the idea. Then yeah, you didn't even come. That's right. I don't know where you were. But anyways, we came across this little ballad that we thought we'd do for you. It's more of a, I guess, stand over here, or back, or stand still. Is that good right there?
There you go. Between the speakers.
Stay between the speakers.
Between them, yeah.
Is it coming through? So we came across this little ballad about, a woman is wondering if her man is really in love with her, and so the guy wrote the song, and it's a little bit of a love song. And if there's somebody here that didn't really come through on Valentine's Day, and you want to use this song as, like, say that this is my words to you, or my song to you, and put your arm around your wife or your girlfriend, whatever you have with you here tonight. And sometime during the song, just look at her and say, honey, this song is for you.
Testing 4, 5, 6.
All right, here we go. You ask me if I love you, and if my love is true. Well, if I were a rich man, here's what I'd do. I'd buy you a diamond ring, a new fur coat or two. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. I'd buy you a Cadillac, a new Mercedes too. I'd build you a mansion up on that mountain top. If my nose was running money, but honey, it's not. If my nose was running money, you'd have anything you please. Anytime you wanted cash, all I got to do is sneeze. Honey, you'd win the lottery anytime I have a cold or flu. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. It's a booger of a problem that I got. I wish my nose was running money, but it's not. I'd buy you a diamond ring, a new fur coat or two. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you.
How many recognize that was sung in the key of D and I played it in the key of G, huh? Did you notice that? That was good. And you know, I used to have a Yamaha ha, but then I took my music seriously.
Up next is Sienna and Mariah. Come on up and share. Now Bennett's going to share with us.
Oh, yes. Where do I go? This animal is
the mic.
This animal is part of the Animalia family.
You got to guess what it is.
Some species live to be 3 to 4 months. Some species live to be 3 to 4 months old before death. Other species live to be 2 years of age. This creature cannot be seen with the naked eye. This animal can survive in space. They can die by being exposed to hot water. When they are fully grown, they will only be 1 millimeter. This animal is oviparous, which means they lay an egg, then leap. They pose no threat to humans. Their nickname is water bear. This animal lives on damp moss and fresh water in the sea. Scientists in Japan are discovering that the DNA protein seems to help prevent cancer. These animals have no organ or circulation or respiration. This animal feeds by piercing individual plant cells with their spear-like structures near their mouth, and then sucking out the cell contents. This animal can reproduce sexually or asexually. This animal is the tardigrade.
And there it is.
There it is. Disgusting.
Look at that beautiful creature. That's not a beautiful.
It's not a beautiful
Yeah, it is.
Up next is Rick. This is the gold for us.
You have a way to go back to that first picture,
Oh, you want to go back to the tardigrade?
the church school picture.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh my.
Just a second.
Grammy.
All right.
Or maybe not.
It's coming. I just got to cast it.
For all of you who don't know this comedy routine, people go to the casino and lose $200 to hear this. So that's the minimum charge tonight. All right, this is a true story. Last night, I had a dream, and what was weird was when I walked in tonight, it was about that picture. You see the playground with the yellow slide? My mother and I drove up to the school in our old '69 station wagon to cut the grass. And Jeff had finished putting up the jungle gym, is that the right word? Yes. But it had no slide. And my mom said, let's go over to Bob's Idols and see if he's got some plastic barrels. We drove over to Bob's. Bob says, yeah, I got 2 blue plastic barrels you can have. So we cut them in half, right? Cut out the ends, screwed them together, took them up there and made that exact slide, only it was blue. And then while we're there, up pulls this really shiny, brand new, I don't know, it was about a '64 Falcon station wagon in beautiful avocado green. And Diane Messer was driving that, and she comes out and she says, who made the slide? And my mom says, I did. Don't give me any credit, right? And Diane says, I want to be the first one on it. And she goes halfway down and it breaks into a million pieces. And my mom is crying at the storm, and I'm like, that was God telling us we didn't make it right, Mom. That was a true story. I woke up and I was sweating and everything. It's like it really happened, you know. And then I looked and there's these little blue shavings all over the bed. It's crazy. That was a true story. I dreamt about building that slide last night. It was freaking me out when I came in here. The other story I got to tell you was when I was helping Jeff and we were up on his roof. One day I looked behind his house in the woods and there was a deer with a pink tail. And I said, you got a deer with a pink tail in your woods. He's looking, I don't see it. I said, no, it just moves its tail every now and then. He's looking, do you mean that property marker by the big stump? Yeah, that one. And he said, maybe we won't give you a gun next year. So I tried out for the church choir, and I'm looking at my music, and Chick said, oh no, Rick, your part's on the back. You gotta have props. Comedy is so much more fun with props. No, I'm not gonna need a phone for this one. Arr. So many of you know that when I was younger, I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. And my parents, about the 4th day of kindergarten, a teacher comes up to him and says, your son's not going to graduate kindergarten. And I go, what? You know, it's only the 4th day. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, you know. Well, then they said, well, maybe we should figure out a career path for him. And so I took the tube test. I don't know if you've heard of the tube test. That was before there were apps. They call it aptitude now, but before there were apps, there was a tube test. And I took it, and they said he'd be a good pirate. So they sent me off to pirate school. And okay, you know, I'm not going to make it in kindergarten, so pirate school it is. And I'm at pirate school, and first day the teacher says we're going to learn the letter A. A. And she said, I want you to write it on the board. So I took the chalk, right? And I went up the mast, down the mast, across the crow's nest. A. And the teacher says, that's an F minus. I go, what? It's perfect. You're in pirate school. You think about the boats going like this. You don't write like that. And she gave me the chalk back and said, now try again. A plus. I got an A plus the first day in penmanship. So that was pretty good. The second day we went to penmanship, and I said, oh, letter B, right? I'm good at that. She goes, no, there's no B in pirate school. What? R. There's an A, an R. There's only 2 letters. R. A plus. I got 2 A pluses the first 2 days of school, so my parents are really proud of me, right? Proud, you're doing good. The next day we have wood shop, and the guy who was our wood shop teacher said, here's a cedar post, and here's a pocket knife. You have 9 weeks to will yourself a leg. And I said, I don't need a leg. And he goes, that's week 10 when we get to power tools. Well, you know, all right. I learned some things about pirates, you know. We had this one kid in our class, and you know, his name was Jolly, and Jolly Bottom. He was the smartest kid in class, and he got all the tests right, you know. And so every time we'd have a verbal test, you know, his hand would be up there, and he goes, like, what's the standard size of a light bulb? He goes, what? That's correct. I said, what English band sang My Generation? Who? That's right. This kid was a genius, you know, and the rest of us kids looked up to him too. Then we had this other kid, he was tall, he was 6 foot. Now remember, this is kindergarten, 6 foot tall. He was tall for his age. And he used to pick the eggs out of the crow's nest without climbing the rigging, you know, really. But he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, but he was smart. But he wore his winter underwear to wood shop every day. And it kind of started to freak us out. So finally we gave him a nickname, Long John Sliver. And then, you know, there's some things about pirates that you have to know, like, for instance, why are pirates called pirates? Because they are. What do you do to a pirate having a heart attack? CPR. You know, and then, you know, some other things like, for instance, I did not know this, that pirating is addictive. In fact, if you lose your hand, you'll be hooked. What do you call a pirate with 2 hands and 2 feet? Rookie. So, and then my last assignment on a pirate ship, they finally made me the first mate, and it was very fun being first mate. And I got to help the captain with a lot of things. And the captain on my ship, his name was Captain Bligh. Now you've always heard, you know, there's the Black Pearl, and there's Captain Bligh was a famous pirate. I was really glad to be his first mate. But he had one problem. He had poor eyesight. So anytime we'd get up near port, he'd say, Rick, come up on deck. I got to see what's going on. And I'd be looking, and he'd get out his spy scope, and he'd look, and he'd say, I can't see anything through this. And so I said, I'll order you a new one. So I got on Amazon, and I got him one ordered right away. They brought it out. And he looked through, he said, this one's no better than the other one. So he taped them together with duct tape. And he said, wow, I can see really good. And ever since then, they've named that invention after him. They're binoculars. Thank you. You know how your mother never throws anything away, right, from my good penmanship in school? I had to show you this. I wrote a children's book, and while I was at pirate school. And it's called Bambi Goes to Deer Camp. Easy reader. How many people here hunt? All right, you can leave your eyes open then. Pow! Pow! Easy reader. Camp student. Another A+.
Tina Valerick's going to come and sing for us.
Okay, getting down is easy, getting up is harder. Hey, hi. raise our hands together with our hearts in one accord. How delighted he must be just to look upon and see two hands that never have been raised before. And now there are two more hands upraised, two more hands now lifting praise. There are two more hands he's never seen before. And when we sing redemption songs, two more hands now clap along. When we stand, there are two more hands to praise the Lord. Chosen for the sacrifice, alone to pay the price. For the sin that I was in, you had come to take my life. But he raised his hands to me. Soldiers nailed him to that tree. And with lifted hands, God won the victory. And now there are two more hands upraised, two more hands now lifting praise. There are two more hands he's never seen before. And when we sing redemption songs, two more hands now clap along. When we stand, there are two more hands to praise the Lord. Yes, when we stand, there are two more hands to praise the Lord.
Oliver, are you ready? I'm going to do doorbell ring with Oliver. It's on.
The doorbell rang by Pat Hanson. I made some cookies for tea, said Ma. Good, said Victoria and Sam. We're starving. Share them between yourselves, said Ma. I made plenty. That's six each, said Sam and Victoria. They look as good as Grandma's, said Victoria. They smell as good as Grandma's, said Sam. No one makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma as the doorbell rang. It was Tom and Hannah from next door. Come in, said Ma. You can share those cookies. That's three each, said Sam and Victoria. They smell as good as your grandma's, said Tom. And look as good, said Hannah. No one makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma, as the doorbell rang. It was Peter and his little brother. Come in, said Ma. You can share the cookies. That's two each, said Victoria and Sam. They look as good as your grandma's, said Peter, and smell as good. Nobody makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma, as the doorbell rang. It was Joy and Simon with their four cousins. Come in, said Ma. You can share the cookies. That's one each, said Sam and Victoria. They smell as good as your grandma's, said Joy, and look as good, said Simon. No one makes cookies like Grandma's, said Ma, as the doorbell rang. And Oh dear, said Mom, as the children stared at the cookies on their plates. Perhaps you would better eat them before we open the door. Well, what? Said Sam. It was Grandma with an enormous tray of cookies. How nice to have so many friends to share them with, said Grandma. It's a good thing I made a lot. And no one makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma as the doorbell rang.
I could have read that. Now we got Philip, who's going to do hot cross buns. Where's Philip? There it is. On the recorder? What do we got there? Sam is next. Of course, lean on me. Up next is Loretta and Nancy with a skit. While they're coming up, I want to tell you a little bit. How many deer hunters were there in the place? Let me see. I raised their hands before, deer hunters. While they're coming up, I'm going to tell you a little story. You know, we used to have a deer camp years ago. I don't know how many of you deer hunters had deer camp, but we'd get up to deer camp, and we had traditions up there. I don't know if any of the other people here had traditions, but we'd all get together at deer camp up in Michigan hunting, and it actually was deer hunting that kind of became our friendship. Me and Rick, we kind of grew apart through the years. Life just took us different ways, and so we kind of had our friendship rekindled. But I'm going to stay behind the speakers here.
You might end up in bed.
Yep. So one of the traditions we had up there was the first person that got to camp would light the gas-powered refrigerator to get it going. And then the very next thing the first person to camp would do, they'd reach up on top of the refrigerator and they'd grab the old bamboo fly rod tube and they'd pull it off the refrigerator and they'd take it down, unscrew the top, and they'd pull out the poster of Marilyn Monroe. Now, she wasn't terribly dressed, but she wasn't all dressed either. But that first person would pin her up on the wall with the 4 tacks that remained there all the time. And then as the people got to deer camp, as you came through the door, you stop and you take a look at Miss Monroe as you came through the door, and walk over to her and give a traditional little peck on the poster somewhere. And it wasn't weird because we all had our own area on the poster that we did that on. But, and as time went by, the deer camp got sold. The number of people that went up to camp dwindled away, and over the years, we kind of lost that deer hunting spirit. And just a few of us remained. And just over the last couple of years, 3 or 4 years, it was just me and Elgin and my dad, and then it was just me and Elgin, and then last year it was me and Elgin and Rick. And we don't stay at a gear camp anymore, we stay at a motel. And we don't make our own food or anything, we go to Big Boy for breakfast, and the only ladies that visit our camp nowadays are Aunt Jemima and Mrs. Butterworth. Good, and
Oh, is it time for us?
do you need a microphone for this?
Yes, please.
Here?
You can put it right there. I haven't even started yet and I get an applause. Thank you.
I was just
Okay.
Jeff Henning.
I'm just gonna put this in the stand. You guys have one more joke? Some of my actors are in the bathroom right now.
I have a lot of pirate material. I even have something that's appropriate for you guys. What did the vegetarian do on the pirate ship? Starve. All we had was fish. Why don't pirates take a bath? Well, I figure if the boat sinks, we'll just wash up later on shore. I think what else I knew. About other stories of deer hunting, we've had some pretty close calls. Almost shot a deer, and the deer were afraid. So that counted a lot. One of our best things in pirate school was that we learned how to make things that weren't ours. And how you do that is called pillage. And so every day at lunch, we pile all the sandwich bags in a pile, and you would pillage. You would go and grab somebody else's sandwich. Now, the bad part about that is we were only allowed to bring one thing for lunch. Everybody had to bring a sardine sandwich, which was delicious, but it didn't matter which one you grabbed, they were all bad, right? So it was a friendly kind of pillage. And a lot of times, we would let the kid with the wooden leg win, because he stayed all 10 weeks, so a lot of times we'd let that kid win the race to pillage. But other than that, we had a lot of fun when we were in school, and almost everybody got an A+, except the time when we had to climb the rigging, and you had to climb the rigging and ring the bell in the scarecrow, right up in the crow's nest. And that's where we watched for enemy ships. And it turns out that that's a lot harder than it looks, right? If any of you have done the obstacle course and run up a rope ladder thing, and it's terrible because your feet want to go through and not on and up. And it hurts the bottom of your little feet, especially if you're wearing pointed pirate boots. And so anyway, being the first mate for Captain Bligh, one day I was climbing the rigging and I got up there and I said, "I see a green shore." And I climbed back down and Captain Bligh says, "Bring me my green pants." Got him his green pants. And we're sailing into, I think it was Bermuda, but it could have been Cozumel. And I climbed up the rigging and got in the crow's and I said, "I see the bluest water I have ever seen. We got to go and see that blue water." And I climbed back down and the captain goes, "Bring me my blue pants." Get the blue pants. And then one day I climbed the rigging and I looked out and I saw 100 enemy ships coming our way. And I climbed down and I said, "Captain, it's not looking good. There's 100 enemy ships headed our way. Bring me my brown pants."
I think it's time to drag you off. Okay, that's called slapstick humor, so let's slapstick on our pants. I think she's finally out of the bathroom. Okay, this is called The Burglar's Old Maid. A story I'll tell of a burglar bold who started to rob a house. He opened the door and then crept in as quiet as a mouse. He looked around for a place to hide till the folks were all asleep, and then said he, with their money, I'll take a quiet sneak. So under the bed, the burglar crept. He crept up close to the wall. He didn't know it was an old maid's room, or he wouldn't have had the gall. He thought of the money that he would steal, as under the bed he lay. But at 9 o'clock, sorry, it's 8 o'clock, so you gotta sit under the bed for another hour. But at 9 o'clock, he saw a sight that made his hair turn gray. And that time, the old maid came in. And she said, for those of you that couldn't understand her, she said, I'm so tired, I think I'm going to go to bed. She thought that all was well that night, so she didn't look under the bed. She took out her teeth and her big glass eye, and the hair fell off her head. Then she took off her robe and was ready for bed. The burglar, he had 40 fits as he watched from under the bed. Into her bed, the old maid crept. The burglar waited and waited. Finally, he thought he heard her snoring. Snore. From under the bed, the burglar crept. He was a total wreck. The old maid wasn't asleep at all, so she grabbed him by the neck. She didn't holler or shout or call. She was only as cool as a clam. She only said,
The saints be happy, at least I found myself a man.
So the old maid found the man. From under her pillow, a gun she drew, and to the burglar said,
Young man, if you won't marry me, I'm gonna shoot off the top of your head.
She held him firmly by the neck. He had not a chance to scoot. He looked at the teeth and the big glass eye and said,
Oh, please, just shoot.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Water.
Water who?
Water asking some big questions.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Theodore.
Theodore who?
Theodore wasn't open, so I knocked. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Canoe.
Canoe. Who?
Canoe come out now? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Beats.
B2.
Beats me. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Goat.
Go to.
Go to the door and find out. Want to do that one? Or want me to do that one?
You knew that one.
All right. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Cash.
Cashew.
No thanks, but I'd love some peanuts. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Mikey,
Mike who?
my key don't work. Can you please let me in? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
A little old lady.
Little old lady who?
I didn't know you could yodel. Good job. All right, thank you.
What kind of tea is hard to swallow? Reality. What do you call a man with no arms and no legs in a pool?
Wow.
Yeah. Rest in peace, boiled water. You will be missed.
How do you like the steak, sir?
Like winning an argument with my wife.
Rare it is.
I got hit in the head with a can of soda yesterday. Luckily, it was a soft drink. What do you call a snake that is exactly 3.14 meters long? Python.
Now we got another song, This Land, and it's with the girls.
This land was made for you and me. I saw the This land was made for you and This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Was walking by the side. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Loretta, you look much better.
What do you mean?
I can see why Ron was asking for separate bedrooms. Philip is going to come up and play a song for us. It's called Dance Band Drummer.
I did.
You guys are next.
I'm encouraged tonight by the number of young people learning to play instruments. I just want to encourage you to keep that up because that's something that, you know, I wish I knew how to play an instrument. I don't, and I wish I did. Experiments with Bennett, Mariah, and Sienna. Do they need safety glasses? Well,
Try it one more time.
Hello. We'll be doing 4 science experiments. 3 out of 4 might work.
Or 1 out of 4.
You're probably not gonna be able to see this, but you can come and look and see what it does.
She's pouring glitter into a bowl.
Of water.
Lift your bowl up and show them.
You can't really see it.
Okay.
And then you put soap, and it separates glitter from water.
Separates the glitter.
Do it like that.
Yeah, that's good.
It separates it, and then it comes back together.
Bennett, can you hand me the balloon?
Where's the plate? Get that.
And pepper.
Okay.
I think yours is more staticky. Here. Rub it on you.
Doesn't work. Go get the plate like I said.
Do it on his head. Yeah, that's not.
Yep, it's working now.
Separates the salt from the pepper. It kind of worked. It worked better in our practice.
Sorry, Josie. Sorry. It's because of the salt. Oh, yeah.
Let's turn one of those off.
You put water first, right?
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know what you're doing. We have.
Make it a thermometer.
how you say it?
Thermometer.
Thermometer. Add alcohol, water, and food coloring.
Rubbing alcohol.
Rubbing alcohol.
Teacher's favorite.
Go to 100.
Hold it up.
They've got to set it down to measure.
Sit it down. It's 100. That's good. We're gonna do not yet. Food coloring.
That's enough.
Mix.
What are you putting together? Just tell us.
We're making a thermometer. She's putting Play-Doh on it so it keeps still. Your hands are probably
Put your hands at the bottom. Hold it at the bottom.
and the water rises when it's hot. And see, it's real cool. Hasiana's hands are warm. I don't know why. And
So when I
now,
went to clean the school, I thought that someone left old soda bottles laying around. I was lucky that Miss Rosanna was there because I was gonna throw them away and it was her little test station there.
Miss Rosanna, fire. Fire. Josie.
All right, I do need you guys to step back for this one.
Josie, come here.
I really should have Chip come do this because we learned that Miss Rosanna does not know how to use these very well. How many eggs did we go through, Bennett, trying this?
All of them.
Oh my goodness.
This is the top. There you go.
Check your egg first.
It does. It fits.
All right. So what are you guys trying to do? So that they know, because most of them can't
We're
see.
trying to make the egg fall in here without pushing it.
All right, so that you see, here's the opening of our flask. And let me see your egg. Okay? The egg does not naturally fit in there, okay? But using air pressure, we're gonna try to do the impossible.
Is the egg raw or cooked?
It's hard boiled.
Okay.
That's just me with fire. Get away. Put your head down. Put it in.
Yep, let it cook just a minute. I don't think that one's gonna do it, is it?
No.
You have to burn it again.
Yep.
Just a paper.
Fire.
Yeah, try this paper.
It's not fire.
That's in the
We
glitter
really
water.
do need the expert up here.
In the glitter water.
I'm here.
You have to let it break.
Burn it.
Let it burn a little bit.
Put it this way. Never mind.
Well, I know Rosanna's not gonna burn anything down.
See, I'm safe.
Put it in.
I picked it out.
It's not
Yep,
flammable
I
paper.
snuffed
that's
it.
all
One more.
All right, one more time.
If it doesn't work this
See,
time.
this is good science in action because half the time when you try something, actually more than half the time, it doesn't work at the beginning. Science.
Kathleen.
I do want to walk away from here tonight.
Do it the other side.
She can't touch that.
Use a paper towel.
Oh. All right, let's try one more piece of newspaper.
No,
Let me have the whole thing.
that's passive newspaper.
It's not classic.
Classic.
So I'm thankful that Chip's chickens are laying eggs because we went through a lot.
My chickens are laying eggs.
That's one of his eggs, Mr. Grandma.
Is it?
And Mrs. Anna,
Yes,
Yeah.
do a
I'm
paper.
kinda glad
My
this
eggs
isn't
are
taking nap
very
class.
personal.
Use a piece of paper towel.
That'll go too fast.
Will it go too fast or with paper towel?
That didn't work. Just try to put it down. Wait, leave it.
I failed. We're gonna leave it there.
Yeah. All right, well, when it works one time out of, I guess, 16 eggs, it took it right in very quickly. And we tried 5 or 6 different containers and several different kinds of paper. And
It's steaming though.
it is steaming. And if we were brave enough and it was already in there, we could use that to help get it back out. But
Why is it?
I'm not
why
brave
is
enough.
the steam not pushing the egg up?
because it's not strong enough. All right, guys, we need to move on.
Good job.
That is, tell us a story.
Where should I read it? Long ago, there was a king who had deep affection for all animals, especially elephants. He had built a very large stable for his royal elephant. A caretaker was appointed to make sure that all the needs of the royal elephant were met. The king had also ordered that special nutritious foods be served to the elephant every day to keep him healthy. One afternoon, a stray dog entered the royal stable. The elephant was resting under a shady tree. The dog spotted the food left over by the elephant and ate to its heart's content. The elephant saw the dog eating the leftover food from that day on. The elephant gladly let the dog share his food. Soon, the two became very good friends. The dog started staying in the stable, and the caretaker too did not mind it. Soon, the dog too became very healthy. One day, a farmer saw the dog and asked the caretaker if he would sell the dog to him. He offered good money for the dog. Although the dog did not belong to the caretaker, he accepted the money and gave the dog to the farmer. After the farmer took the dog away, the royal elephant became very sad. He lost his only friend in the royal stable. He missed his friend during meal times and refused to eat or drink, and soon became very weak. The news of the royal elephant's failing health quickly reached the king. He rushed to the royal stable to inquire. The caretaker knew why the elephant was so desolate and refused food and water. But he did not speak up. He was afraid that if the king came to know that he sold the dog, which was not rightfully his, he would be punished. So he defied ignorance. The royal vet was called to check the health of the elephant. Even through examination, the vet was unable to ascertain why the elephant was not eating and drinking. He concluded that being an emotional animal, the elephant was very sad about something. The king's guards questioned all the servants in the stable to find out what could be the reason for the royal elephant's sorrow. They became to know about the dog, who lived with the elephant and was his close friend. They also came to know that the dog had been missing since the last few days. The king called his chief minister, told him about the whole situation, and asked him for a solution. Upon the chief minister's suggestion, an announcement was made in the entire kingdom that whoever had the dog should return it immediately, and he would be rewarded handsomely. The farmer heard the announcement and immediately reached the king's palace along with the dog. He told the king that he had bought the dog from the caretaker of the royal elephant. The caretaker was called immediately, and he confessed selling the dog even though he had no right to do so. The king ordered the dog to be returned to the stable alongside the elephant. The caretaker was ordered to return the farmer's money. He was also ordered to look after the dog as well, along with the elephant. The royal elephant was very happy to see his friend back. Food was served to both of them, and they ate together.
Now Miranda's going to do the Rainy Day Blues.
Pirates can't play cards. Someone's always standing on the deck.
Testing. All right.
So while we were listening, what did the Pirate Girls get for Christmas? Barbies.
So I keep going back to this Valentine's thing, Pastor, with how cheap we are sometimes. And sometimes I wonder if it isn't because we don't know what to get our spouse. Has that ever happened to any of you guys? No. She's got everything you need. So what do you get her? So we finally came up with an idea, and we're going to want to share that with you tonight.
Carry that. It's all
Our friends have got one, my wife wants one too. A knee-length fuzzy fur coat, see nothing else will do. Said he looked real classy, makes me proud of her. If I just break down and buy her a fur. I got to thinking, how am I gonna swing that sort of deal? Well, knows I can't afford it, it'd be wrong to steal. But the problem finally solved itself like a bolt out of the blue. Walked right out in front of me on Highway 22.
well,
That big old German Shepherd,
my
my
car
car he did not see.
Now
He's in dog heaven, but his hide belongs to me.
For 3
Weeks in the basement, I worked late most every night. Was mostly trial and error, but I finally got it right. Put it in a cardboard box, carried upstairs to her. Oh, she was tickled pink to see that fur.
Now she's got a fancy fur coat,
reaches all the way to her knees.
but she's
She's
been
been
complaining
complaining lately, says her closet's full of fleas.
She don't know old Fido
Wrapped around her tight.
She's putting on the dog
when she goes out at night.
Well, she's
Been depressed here lately since I backed out over the cat. But I think she'll feel much better when I give her this new fur hat.
Russian hat.
If you water those ukuleles long enough, you'll get them sharp.
If you water them, they'll get
Well, at least I don't have to explain that one on Monday when I go to school. For those of you who don't know, Uncle Jeff here is our resident comedian. He's been hosting, emceeing our talent nights since we started. And he is very creative. I asked your dad if he knew you were this funny and creative when you were a kid. He just chuckled and walked off, so. But we are blessed with many talents. I've heard some people say, I don't really have a talent to get up in front and share. And I was thinking about that because the kids kind of struggle with that too, because their talents aren't all the ones that you stand up and present. Like, I have a couple who are really good at math. Isn't that right? Yes. Yes, exactly. And I have some who are really good at reading, and I have some who are really good at sports, and I have some who are really good at so many things. It's hard to stand up in front and share. But they get them from the people who are around them, who model them and share them. So tonight, as you've seen some of our talents on display, I want you to stop and pause and think about all the talents that God has blessed you with, and how you use those talents, and how those talents are being modeled and shared with our students, and how it grows those same talents in them. And then I want to mention a talent that I am so very thankful for. We have Murdy's mom and Carol, and Jody's helping with the cleaning right now. Where did Murdy go?
Already left with the baby.
Okay, I don't blame her. This whole evening's menu and plan and that tonight was the brainchild of Murdy, and it was definitely kicked up so many notches tonight, and I greatly appreciate all of that tonight. I will tell her, but Mom, share that with Murdy, how much we appreciate that. If you didn't remember, there are envelopes on your table, and those envelopes are there for you to slide any donations that you would like to make to the school. We continue to run on your support, and we thank you for that. And even if you didn't come tonight prepared to make a donation, we're always able to accept donations. You can turn them in through the church. Michelle will see that we get them, or you can turn them into our treasurer, Ron. Ruth is sitting over there for those who don't know him. And before we close tonight, I want to talk about just one more talent. Jeff showed you his funny talents tonight, but he leaves tomorrow with another talent to work with. He's headed to Malawi. I should remember that story.
Africa.
Yes, in Africa. And he's going to be looking at some projects that he's been working with an orphanage and some churches and that. And in our prayers tonight, I'd just like to pray a special travel blessing for him and Shane and Travis as they go, and that the Lord will guide as they go as well. Let's bow our heads. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for the many things that you do each day for us, and the many gifts and talents that you give us. And you tell us that if we'll just use them even just a little bit, you'll grow them in us and trust us with so much more. I thank you for each one of those who are here tonight, for the ways that they use the talents that you've given them, whether they've been up front or have just quietly lived them each and every day. Continue to bless and guide and direct. Thank you for our church school, for all the people who support it, for this ministry of our church. Just ask, Father, that you continue to grant wisdom and guidance and help us to continue to go in the route and path that you would have us to go. Bless each one of our children. Help them to continue to grow closer to you. And tonight, as we wrap up and we prepare to go our separate ways, we do ask for safety for everyone as they travel home. But we ask an extra special prayer of safety for Jeff and for Travis and for Shane as they go on a mission to Malawi. Let them see the things that you would have them to see, to have the wisdom for the work that needs to be done, and bring them safely home. And encourage us to support that work as well. In your name we pray. Amen.
One more quick note for those who know Wayne and Patty fighting. Their granddaughter, Taylor, won the first girls' state wrestling championship in Wisconsin. So, at 107 pounds, and her brother become the first brother-sister to win a state championship. As a freshman for Oconto Falls.
Thank you for coming. Oh, yes, okay, we have soup for sale. So if you are interested in any soup, come on up to the kitchen, and looks like we've got all 3 soups, right? All right, thank you. In the yellow room?
Sorry, the light bulb.